There ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down.
Did Baker Mayfield's Browns look like a playoff team Sunday?
Yeah, they did look like a playoff team. Yeah, surprise, huh? A playoff team that's about to lose. Oh, my God, a playoff team that's about to be one and done.
Just didn't care. They made it happen.
Well, I know it's the cliche of cliches. Nothing lasts
Signed a letter of intent to go to Kentucky or something. One and done, that's this team. I guarantee it. Charles Barkley style up here, boy. Oh, my God.
They want to hear me talk about Josh Allen. And here is what I don't understand. I don't understand how we have just anointed Josh Allen with a level of respect and deference I've never seen a quarterback get prior to his first career playoff win. He is the most hyped quarterback going into the playoffs without a playoff win.
Keep it. Allen into the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo.
So I'm going to go with the team with, I believe, the better coach in Frank Reich.
Chaz the holder, Rhodes the snapper. Off the post, and no good.
He is at another level, but the problem for Josh Allen's levels is he bounces between them. And he's been up at this level for about a month now, which means one of those levels is coming.
Fake it. Allen. Deep shot. Touchdown. On the line to Stephon Diggs.
I'm going to go with the underdog here. I'm going to be the only person in America that does it. I think the Colts win a close game, and I think the Josh Allen discussion gets back to a sane place, Brandon.
It took a quarter of a century, and the Buffalo Bills have won a playoff game.
Still here with us, Stephen A. You're up first. Will the Titans eliminate Lamar's Ravens again?
I'm afraid to say yes. I believe they will. I think this game is at Tennessee, if I remember correctly. You got a 2,000-yard rusher in Derrick Henry, who, by the way, ran for 133 and an overtime win against them earlier this season.
For the Titans, it's Henry. He's met in the backfield.
Is this your game?
Third and a long one. That's what you have Derrick Henry for.
Is this your game?
Pressure coming. Tannehill just trying to get rid of it. Slings it off to Henry.
Is this your game?
From 52. Keeps it a 4-point game. And the Titans continue to try to get Derrick.
Is this your game?
Last time he faced them last year was 195 yards that he rushed for in the postseason in the playoff game against them. And I think they'll dare Lamar Jackson to throw the football.
Jackson trying to escape and run for it, and he's got it more. Lamar Jackson down the sideline. Will they give it to him? They will. Touchdown, Baltimore.
There's no other way you could view Cleveland based on their actions other than say they're losers.
Down. Kareem Hunt breaks a tackle. Kareem Hunt pulls his way.
That's what they've been. In the last 40 years, they have the lowest winning percentage in the NFL. That's 4 decades of futility and the fewest playoff wins.
Well, I know it's the cliche of cliches. Nothing lasts forever.
Nah, I think they're still the same Browns team I play every year. I think they're nameless, great faces. The Browns is the Browns.
Shut the fuck up.
Hitting the curveball and adjusting each day.
Interesting. wearing his hat backwards? What happened to Carson Wentz's season when he went to the podium with his hat on backwards? We went and looked at Aaron Rodgers this morning. 22 times we have footage of him at a podium or on TV this year. Beanie or the hat on forwards. Of course, backwards hat. Guy that does it never gets it. Those who don't get it, don't get it. It's not quarterbackial. I will tell you the quarterbacks I like this weekend. Big Ben hat forward.
Middle of the game, third quarter. There's a look at Ben Roethlisberger. No talk about, retirement, but what's going through his mind right.
Look at that. That just says playoff loss, doesn't it? Doesn't that just say down 12?
Shut the fuck up! The sports media is more toxic than bleach and ammonia mixed together. They always act like they know everything about these athletes. They are always telling the viewer what these athletes can and cannot do. They say Lamar Jackson can't throw. They say Josh Allen is going to be brought back to earth. They say Baker Mayfield has more commercials than highlights. And believe it or not, there are a lot of football fans that believe everything that these analysts say. Now, they're entitled to their own opinions, but when these analysts' opinions becomes common knowledge, that's when it becomes a problem, because they teach these viewers to be close-minded on these athletes from giving takes based on their emotions. Let me paraphrase what Baker Mayfield once said. He said that the media is just doing their job and the athletes just have to focus on theirs. These three quarterbacks, since they've been drafted, have changed the culture of their franchises. Since I've been on this earth, I have never seen the Buffalo Bills with 13 wins. I started to watch football in the year of 2008, and I've never seen the Cleveland Browns in the playoffs, let alone win a playoff game against their toughest divisional opponent. The Baltimore Ravens win a playoff game for the first time in 6 years. So Baker Mayfield wins in his first playoff start, Josh Allen wins in his second playoff start, and Lamar Jackson wins in his third playoff start. One of these quarterbacks from the 2018 NFL Draft will make an AFC Championship appearance. And if the Cleveland Browns beat the Kansas City Chiefs, then one of these three quarterbacks will make an appearance in Super Bowl 55. So let's do a little recap of the games in which these three quarterbacks have played.
Bills and Colts.
At last, the Bills finally survived a Hail Mary attempt and they finished a playoff game, something that they did not do last year against the Texans. Last year, they let the Texans come back and beat them in overtime. This year, they finally played a full 60 minutes, and technically, had it not been for Rodrigo Blankenship missing this field goal, they probably would have went into another overtime. But hey, Josh Allen and Sean McDermott finally get their first playoff victory, and it's a good solid win, especially after they destroyed the Miami Dolphins last week. I am glad that Sean McDermott got these boys disciplined and they took the Indianapolis Colts seriously. They were not arrogant, especially after beating the Miami Dolphins last week. I mean, they destroyed them. You can tell in this game that the Bills did not care about their 13-3 record. They came and took care of business. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Browns and Steelers.
The Browns were tired of being called little brother to the Steelers, so they came to play. Baker Mayfield had a clean game, a great game, along with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Now Kareem Hunt is going to face his former team in the Kansas City Chiefs. This game started like Super Bowl 48, and the funny thing is, the Browns actually scored 48 points, ironically. Browns offense basically kept them in this game. I mean, despite Rashard Higgins dropping too many balls, in my opinion, the Browns offense did not go to sleep. But despite the Browns offense, their defense continues, to me, to be very suspect. I mean, they let Grandpa Roethlisberger throw for 500 yards against them, and basically, had the Cleveland Browns offense been stale, I can see the Steelers coming back and winning this game. I mean, the Browns defense did this weeks ago against the Titans. The Browns were blowing out the Titans, and then their defense were letting the Titans slowly come back. And Tennessee came within one score of that game. So if they let an older, washed up Ben Roethlisberger throw for 500 yards, what do you think a well-rested Patrick Mahomes is going to do against that defense next week? If the Browns were to win this game, it's going to have to be with their defense.
Ravens, Titans.
The Ravens fell into a deficit just like they did last year. But Harbaugh finally got his head out of his ass, and he did something that he hasn't done since Lamar Jackson has been his quarterback in the postseason. He stuck to the scheme the entire game. He finally committed to the run. Remember, last year the Baltimore Ravens, they panicked against the Tennessee Titans when they were up 14-0, and the Baltimore Ravens threw the ball 59 times with an offense that was ranked 32nd in pass attempts. In this game, they were down by 10 points, and Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson, they looked, more calmer, more patient, especially after Lamar Jackson threw his first interception. They did not panic. They stuck to the scheme. That's the key. And they had 33 minutes of time of possession, which caused the defense to be more rested, and that defense stepped up. Like I have been telling Ravens fans, their defense is going to be the key. Their defense has to step up because their offense has proven that they can score points, but the media, they give you this fake narrative that Lamar Jackson can't win playoff games. But in reality, it was the fact that the Baltimore Ravens defense, one, had to step up, and two, John Harbaugh finally called a good game. And the Baltimore Ravens getting rid of Earl Thomas was a great move. Take that toxic energy out of the locker room. The guys look more focused, more poised, and ready to win. Remember, last year, Earl Thomas kept running his mouth on how the Ravens were going to win the Super Bowl. And, the Ravens are a young team. They don't need to hear all that. They need somebody mature like a Calais Campbell, in which they got. Somebody that can bring a band of brothers together to achieve a common goal. I am proud of all of these three quarterbacks, and I am glad that all of these three quarterbacks from the 2018 draft class all got their first playoff victories in the same weekend. That was a wild card weekend, baby.
Until next time, pigskin foes and heroes.